Hey there. So I just wanted to walk you through one of the features of Bethel that is currently in beta, and that is the podcasting feature. Specifically, I want to focus on video podcasts. Vimeo is a very popular platform for hosting your video content. It's useful to churches and ministries because you can upload a full-length sermon to Vimeo and they'll transcode it for you. They'll give you a customized video player that you can embed in your site. It's really flexible in that way. So for a lot of ministries, most of your sermon videos are already online, hosted on Vimeo. So I'm going to show you how to take those videos that you've already uploaded into Vimeo and create a podcast from them. It's super simple. So I've created an audio podcast. I have my videos over here in Vimeo, and I want to bring them over and create a video podcast. So I'll go to Podcasts. I'll create a new podcast. And we'll call this Global Church Video Podcast. So we've got a description here. This will actually show in iTunes. So there's my description. The keywords field will allow your podcast to be discoverable when users search. So it's a good idea to fill this all out. I'm going to skip this just for the sake of time. So I'm going to choose video, which will then show the Vimeo Pro option. So let me select Vimeo Pro. And under my username, I'm just going to type my username from Vimeo. So it's up here in the URL. Albert Martin is my username. So the videos to sync field is important. This will actually control what Bethel syncs from your Vimeo account. So if you're like most people, you have one Vimeo account and you host a variety of different video content. So you may have sermon series, you may have promos, you may have testimonial videos. You probably don't want them all to show up in a single podcast. So a good way to do that is to tag your videos with specific keywords. So for example, your sermon series videos might all be tagged with the keyword sermon. So if that was the case, I would enter sermon here, and it would sync all of my videos on Vimeo that are tagged with the sermon keyword. So for this example, I'm just going to use Bethel as my keyword. I've tagged a few of my videos on Vimeo with Bethel. And then let's just add an image for the podcast. All right. That was pretty easy, right? So let's just hit Create Podcast. So there we go. It brought over the videos from Vimeo that are tagged with that keyword, and they're all listed here. So unfortunately, there's one more step that we need to do. Vimeo does not allow this to happen automatically. It is a highly requested feature from their professional members, and it's something that if you would find useful, I would encourage you to contact Vimeo and request this feature if you are a Vimeo Pro subscriber. So the next step that we need to do is for any video that comes over from Vimeo, we also have to provide the URL for the video file. This is pretty straightforward, and we can do it right here. So I have a link right here that's going to take me right to the video settings page on Vimeo. I'm already logged in, so if I click this, it'll open a new tab. If I scroll to the bottom of this page, there'll be a couple different options here under this Use Your Own Player section. So for most podcasts, you're probably going to want to stick with a standard def video. It's a little bit better quality than the mobile version, but if you go all the way to high def, people with a slower internet connection or those that might be browsing on a mobile phone will have a little bit harder time downloading your podcasts. If you really want an HD podcast, I'd recommend creating two separate podcasts, one that's HD and one that's SD. For the purposes of this demo, though, we're just going to stick with standard def video. So I'm just going to select the link in this field, copy it, and paste it right here. And when I hit save, you'll see the yellow color went away. That means the video is now showing up in the podcast. So if I do the same thing for the remainder of my videos here, all 5 of them will show up in the podcast. So that's basically it. You don't need to do anything else. All the metadata is copied over from Vimeo. So your video's description, its keywords, everything about it's going to be copied directly into your podcast from Vimeo. Now, like I said, I'd eventually like to have it where the video URL is synced from Vimeo automatically as well. But this is going to be on the folks over at Vimeo to open up the API to allow for this to happen. But basically, everything's all set. So now we can go take our podcast, submit it to iTunes, and we're good to go. I hope this feature proves to be useful. And if you have any comments, suggestions, or feedback, I'd love to hear about it.